Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Coach Bill with Weight Loss Made Easy Solution. Today is Thursday. I just wanted to get on. I wanted to give you guys an update on Emily and I doing a new protocol that we're working on. It's called a 6-week diet down. Those of you that follow me knew I started this about 3 weeks ago. This is something new I'm working on. It kind of takes the place of the standard traditional 12-week diet down to get somebody ready to go on stage. And the reason why I'm doing this, because I'm cutting the time in half and we're not starving at all. We're using our own body's mechanism to not only burn the body fat off, but to control our hormones. That was one of the difficulties about doing a 12-week traditional diet down, because it definitely affected your hormones. The protocol we're using does not affect your hormones that way, which is very encouraging, of course, especially those that are getting close to going on stage. You know how that is when your hormones are jacked up, that you don't want to be around anybody. Guys, I'm really excited about this 6-week diet down, how it's working so far, especially the idea of how flexible it is. Now, we all know that life gets in the way. And those of us or those of you that have tried to do a diet know that things happen, family things happen, life happens, and it just totally messes up your whole program. You know, you're really focused on losing that extra belly fat or that extra fat, but things happen, things get in the way, mental things even happen, and that's just normal. But by using your own body's mechanisms to balance your hormones and to produce brand new muscle stem cells to increase lean muscle mass, which we all know when you do that, you're going to be burning more calories. It's going to raise your metabolic rate up. And so that's why the protocols that we're using for our clients are working so well, especially those that are consistent and will give themselves 6 months to a year for their bodies to adapt to burning fat. Guys, there's a lot of great research out there, and there's all kinds of brand new research coming in. And research like what Emily and I are doing now proves that by doing a higher good dietary fat, 75%, 20% moderate protein, and 5% very low carbs, all our carbs are coming from veggies, fresh. All our meats are coming from pasture-raised, grass-fed. All our eggs are coming from cage-free. Anything that we eat is going to be clean. And we look at the packages, even the chicken is grass-fed, and we're looking at, says, the package will say organic, grass-fed, never any hormones or antibiotics, given to the chickens. That's what we're looking for. But guys, we're about 3 weeks into this, and we've had birthdays and we've had anniversaries in the last couple of weeks, which really could throw you off of your program. The traditional one will throw you completely off, because for myself and for Emily, when on the days of the birthday, not only for my birthday, for my kids' birthday, is that we did not worry about what they were eating or cooking, because obviously we didn't want to feel uncomfortable and want them to feel uncomfortable. So we pretty much ate what they ate. And especially for my anniversary, and this is what I'm really encouraged about now, what we're doing, what most of you aren't, and those of you that have done the 12-week diet down before a competition, have you ever really monitored your blood sugar or your ketone levels to make sure you're still in fat burning? Or when you do go off the wagon due to some kind of a family event or a birthday, did you check your blood sugar 3, 4, 5, 6 hours after that to see if you're right back into fat burning? Most of you didn't. Well, this is why I'm so encouraged about this 6-week diet down. Now, grant me, you guys, understand, and when I've been fat adapted for a few years now. That's the key. It's going to take 6 to 12 months, if not longer, to get you completely fat adapted so that you'll get the same results that we are getting. But on our anniversary night, we ate, and that was on a Wednesday, You guys know that I really like to promote the every other day fasting. Well, basically, the 6-week diet down is still the same as an everyday fasting. The only difference is that on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I'm having my last meal at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I've changed the timing because the research is saying that when you change your timing to having your last meal at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to be burning more fat throughout the night. And so that's what our research is about. And you guys, I am seeing that. I'm seeing my belly fat even getting less. I'm seeing my muscle tone starting to actually seeing more lean muscle added. My strength is going out of this world. Today, Emily and I, in our 3rd week, we fasted working out, and it was about 18 hours. Now, those of you that have heard me talk about that, I have my every other day fasting is I call it a non-fasting day, which is Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I call it my fasting days, which are Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. Technically, guys, I'm fasting every single day. And even those of you that say you're not fasting every other day, you are technically fasting every other day because obviously you're not eating at night. Okay? Well, for us, our non-fasting day is when we have our first meal at 12 o'clock, which is around 18 hours, depending on what time we ate the night before. And then we're going to have 2 meals on Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays. We'll have a first meal at 12. We'll have our last meal before 6. Sometimes I'll snack on a beef stick, or I'll snack on some macadamia nuts, or I'll have a fat coffee, or I might have a leftover lean piece of chicken. But I'll snack on some kind of protein to get the extra protein, which I call my non-fasting day. But on Tuesdays is my last meal at 2 o'clock. So today's Thursday, so obviously my last meal is at 2. But I always either break my fast with kefir, half hour, an hour before, or I'll do a bone broth, which I'm doing a chicken bone broth today. I'm not going to eat until 2:30. I'm doing a chicken bone broth with some collagen in it and some MCT oil to kind of boost the fat up in that drink. So I'm breaking my fast right now before I have a solid meal, just to get my gut ready to take on a solid meal. But like I said, today both of us felt very strong, lots of energy to get through our training when we train heavy, and our recovery was phenomenal. Again, as soon as we walked out the door, we're both fully recovered. I feel like right now I haven't done anything, which is what I want to feel. Now, what was encouraging about last Wednesday what's this? Thursday? Yeah, Wednesday. What was encouraging about last Wednesday is that we had a 47th anniversary, and we went to a Mexican restaurant. Now, I did on Wednesday, instead of eating at 12, we went ahead and fasted all the way till 4 o'clock. So our reservations were at 4. So I just figured, since we're going to eat Mexican food, and my sister-in-law or my daughter-in-law is going to make me an awesome chocolate cake at 7:30 that night, I'm just going to go ahead and not eat at 2 o'clock, at 12, and I'm just going to go ahead and eat one meal and wait all the way till 4. See, that's the flexibility of it. If I know for a fact that I'm not going to eat the normal foods that I'm going to eat that day, I will just change the timing on it. And what's cool about that is, remember what I'm saying? We check our blood to see where we're at, to see if we're in fat burning or to see if we're out of fat burning. We're doing a real blood test, guys. And that's documentation is always going to overrule conversation. Blood tests don't lie, right? Well, on Wednesday night, I had, we trained on Wednesday before we left, but I had my Mexican meal, and we didn't hold back, guys. I had a lot of high carbs, chips and dips, and the fajitas. I had flour tortillas. I had beans. I had rice. Man, my body was just going crazy with all this carbs. It wasn't used to it. Now, how did I feel? I felt super full, not comfortable at all because we don't eat like that, and plus we ate too much. But what was really unique is that probably we ate at 4, went to my sister-in-law or my son's house to be there at 7:30, and she made an awesome cake. Well, I didn't hold back on that cake. Are you kidding me? It was made for us for our anniversary. I had 3 pieces that late at night, thinking, "Oh my gosh, my blood sugar is going to be sky high. I'm going to be pushed out of fat burning," which I was. I was for and when you become fat adapted, the key factor in that whole thing is how quickly do you get back in fat adaptation. You guys, it may take 14, 15, even 16 hours after a meal like that to actually get back into fat adaptation. That means no calories, guys, for 15, 16, 17 hours. 0 calories, just water and green tea and coffee. But so all night you're not in fat burning, okay? So, but because we're so fat adapted, we've been doing this for a few years now, that I was curious with these old bodies, and this is a great research on 2 old bodies that have been around for a long time. So what better research is that? But so what we did was the next day, we exercised in the morning on a fasted state. We did our moderate cardio after we exercised in a fasted state, and then I took my blood test. We took our blood test around, I think it was around 1 o'clock, and this is what happened. Okay, so my blood sugar, after having all that meals, and I did a video showing you guys what my blood sugar was, but I was extremely surprised to see my blood sugar all the way down to 76. I was extremely surprised. That means I'm in fat burning. If my body type and what I'm used to seeing in my ketone levels, if my blood sugar is at 80 or less, I'm burning fat, I'm in ketosis. I know where my ketones are. Emily's blood sugar was down exactly the same. Now, how weird is that? 66. We were both down. She was 78. But the day before, we were both down to 66. So we were deep in autophagy and deep into burning fat the day before. So, I mean, it's just blowing my mind what's going on and how flexible this routine is once you become fat adapted. So, guys, like I said, I just wanted you to understand see where we were at 3 weeks into it. We're both getting stronger. We both had to add more weight to our exercising today, which is very encouraging. I'm now back up to getting close. I'm back up to 90-pound flat dumbbell presses. I did after my 12, 10, and 8. My max set is always going to be a max, and my goal is to hit 6. And so I went from 80 and decided, because the first 3 sets were super easy, and I thought, you know what, my book is telling me I need to do 80 pounds flat dumbbells, which I did last time at 6 reps. But you know what? I jumped to 90. I just figured that I felt that good and my shoulders felt great. So I jumped to 90 and got 5 reps out at 90. Now I'm close to 40 pounds less than I was back when I was my normal weight during the off season when we competed. I'm almost 40 pounds less. And now I'm getting close to where I was when I was 40 pounds more. I'm only maybe 10 to 20 pounds away from reaching that point, which is pretty encouraging, being that less. I mean, my body fat is way down compared to that. So I am really, really encouraged about this 6-week diet now. Now, this is something I'm not going to do all the time. I'll do it every so often. I'll go back to my normal every other day fasting routine that I really like to control my weight and to keep adding lean muscle. And then every once in a while, I'll throw the 6-week back in there just to clean me out, because that's pretty much what it is. Now, at the 5-week point, at the 6-week point during this protocol, I have put together a 7-day tune-up, similar to what we did when we were going to go on stage. 7 days before we went on stage, we really dieted down heavy. Well, obviously, I'm not starving because I know how much good dietary fat I need per meal. So because of the dietary fat, we're satisfied all the way up until 24 hours. So I'm actually doing on this 6-week diet down, we're doing about 3 24-hour fastings, one meal those days. But because we eat enough fat and we know how much fat we need for us, we're not hungry. 24-hour fast is really nothing. We don't even think about food. Food no longer runs our life. Sometimes we have to force ourselves to eat. But anyway, and so I'm going to give you guys another update next week to see where we are. I'm looking at the documentation that I'm putting down. I'm documenting everything we are, including my glucose levels. I don't so much have to do the ketones as much anymore because we are so fat adapted that I know that if my blood sugar is down in the 74s or 76, I'm burning ketones. My body is mainly burning the stored fat that I've got left, and that's what I'm using for energy. We already know that because we've been doing this long enough and testing it long enough. So we don't need to really check our ketones. Now, I'll probably check our ketones later on tonight just to see where we're at. Also, guys, if you guys have been doing this for a long time, you'll notice that your ketone levels are going to be a lot less than they were when you first started out, the first 4 or 5 or 6 months. It's because now your body is utilizing, you got 100 trillion cells, guys. And when you're producing ketones from your liver, your body is super happy. It loves ketones. It loves to live off ketones. So you're utilizing more of those ketones in your cells. So your ketone levels will be less, but that doesn't mean you're not producing. No, it just means you're utilizing more of them. That's why you feel so good. And that's why your body is in such a good, healthy state. Okay, guys? So, guys, looking forward to talk to you next week about our update. I hope you saw some value in this. I'm really encouraged about this, and I can't wait to try it on some of you guys. Okay? Guys, have a great day. We'll see you guys at the next video.